Super Rugby round number 10, folks. Why did the Blues do this to me? We were winning this game fairly comfortably. Bonus point territory. It was 47 points to 26. Game was seemingly pretty well done. Bonus point means we just go behind the Hurricanes before their match up against the Chiefs tomorrow, but no. Yellow card and a couple of late tries to the Highlanders means they had a chance to take it to golden point, but the Blues managed to hold on. Now I can breathe. We'll go through some of the key events and the stats, and you guys can let us know your thoughts on how this game went. The too long didn't read version, the quick summary, the Highlanders back scored the tries, and their scrum got going, whereas the Blues, it's more about the forwards, isn't it? The forwards scored the majority of the tries, and that was the maul. The maul that was getting going. Only Forbes scored from the backs. Segner was good again. We had a couple of returnees like Tuipulotu and Papali and Hoskins and whatnot, but yeah, Tangitau getting injured probably didn't help the Highlanders. When I say injured, HIA. Unlucky for that guy because he has been lightning all season. The Canes did score first through Lennox, who had a really good game at halfback, and then later on out wide. He is very, very nippy, kind of loose line-out play. He finds himself running straight through the resolved line-out, and yeah, he's got the gas to go over for a try, 7 points to 0. But the Blues were good at this in this game and hitting back not long after the Highlanders had scored. So 2-2 got one back for the Blues. Close range phases. Wasn't anywhere near as pretty as the Highlanders' first try, but they all count the same. And it was, kind of on the back of Highlanders' penalty conceded. So the Blues making the most of their opportunity, 7 points apiece. The second Blues try was a little bit prettier, I would say. Cody Vai, big carry. Segner out on the right wing. If he didn't slip, he maybe would have scored, but it doesn't matter because a couple of phases later, the Blues forwards burrow over, and it's Segner. Segner, who had a really good game for a second week in a row. He gets the try, misconversion, but 12 points to 7. As a Blues fan, I'm starting to feel a bit more comfortable, especially when the Highlanders, when they had their chance to push back, ended up kind of fluffing one to Groot. It could have finished off some pressure for the Highlanders, but not to be done. And then the Blues, when they get their next chance, they take it. Tangitau penalty conceded for a, what was it going on the player before he had a chance to get up off the ground. And the Blues, punish. Taeli went close. Not turned over, even though he was kind of isolated, which was a kind of fortunate one because the Highlanders are usually very good at that kind of thing. And another forward burrowing over. Sam Darry this time. So 19 points to 7. I'm starting to feel a wee bit more comfortable. That is until the Highlanders not only scored, but saw the Blues go down to 14 men because Zan Sullivan got himself carded for a high shot on Caleb Tangitau. Tangitau burned Taeli. I mean, it was caught him really seemingly kind of unawares. You know how much gas Tangitau's got. He burned him like nothing. Found Talia out wide. I thought the pass was a little bit forward, to be fair. But hey, what am I going to say? I'm a Blues fan. But it's try time, and then they go back to look at the Zan Sullivan hit. It's a bit rich for me to say like the pass didn't look good, where the hit didn't look much better, because Zan Sullivan hits Tangitau pretty high, but I don't think he's egregiously upright. He's kind of bending. It's just that Tangitau's already being tackled by, I think, Christie. So he gets hit high, and they do mitigate the card to yellow because there's a significant drop in height, which is fair, but it's a Highlanders try no matter what. And then they got a chance to go, and put the squeeze in the Blues with an extra man, but they don't do it. They don't do it. I think if you're a Highlanders fan, you'll look back at this game and go, we missed some opportunities, and this 14-on-15 period was a chance for the Highlanders to turn the screws. Somehow the Blues held out before half-time. I don't know how. Just massive defensive shift, I suppose. But Tavatavanawa looked to be over for all money, but not quite. The Blues managed to get a turnover, run the clock down, and send it into the stands. So, yeah, the Blues go in with a lead at half-time, but it's far from comfortable despite the Blues having 67% of the ball, more run meters. Highlanders have coughed up too much pill. 10 turnovers conceded to 4 is just too high. The Blues have conceded 5 penalties to 4, but both the props have conceded penalties for the Blues. So of the 5 penalties, 2 of them are props. Yeah, that didn't get much better as the game went on. The Landers scrum continued to turn the screws. Second half, another penalty conceded by the Landers, this time for obstruction on a high ball kick, and the Blues, from the resulting attack, go for the line out. Next phase, Segner is able to power through a couple of Highlanders tacklers. This is one that I think on the review they won't look back on very fondly because it's not the best, but it's his second try and we're 33-14 up. I'm starting to feel more comfortable again, but you're also thinking if the Landers are going to find a way back into this game, it's probably going to be on the back of the scrum. And it does work. They get themselves a scrum after an earlier scrum penalty, a scrum in the Blues 22. That one shifts left, the scrum, but the ball goes right, and they're able to get it over through Lennox. Again, he's got some pretty nifty footwork. And man, we're like, what? It's 33 points to 21. And it's kind of threatening to be game on again, which is really the storyline of the game. The Blues did get the backs going. Bodie Barrett beat on rushing defence and managed to shift it right to Forbes, who was able to put on some nice footwork of his own for the only try of the game for the Blues backs. 40 points to 21. Mark's feeling more comfortable again. Why I'm talking about myself in the third person, I don't know. But yeah, I was feeling good. 40 points to 21 is a comfortable lead. But then, after setting up a try, Bodie just literally throws a ball to nobody, which in terms of the reviews ain't going to look good for the Blues from their point of view. And this man Tito Harris gets a try on debut as the Landers go length of the field from turnover ball. Really sharp stuff and really good gas. So conversion is the post. 40 points to 26 is still a comfortable enough lead, especially when Benake gets his debut try for the Blues on 71 minutes. It's another forwards try. Drives over. TMO finds the grounding. So what are we? 47 points to 26. Bonus point. Happy days. Surely the Blues go on and see this out and we look on to the rest of the season. No, there's still more to come. Lamb gives away a cynical yellow card at the breakdown and the Highlanders punish with the extra space. Talia in the corner gets his second, 47-33. Lucas Casey for the Landers got caught somehow. They had like numbers left and right of him. They should have scored from a big line break, but it didn't matter because Vikena, who's another man with a Blues connection, he gets a try a minute later. A big kick for Cam Miller, but he slots it. We're 47-40 with like a minute to go, and the Landers have to chase the game. They have to go length of the field. They get bloody close because they had, a penalty. Went on the Blues end. Another penalty, they tap it, but eventually, they knock it on. So they can't force golden point. The Blues hang on for a 7-point win, losing bonus point for the Landers. From a Blues point of view, it shouldn't have got that close. But for the Landers, good on you for competing right until the end. The Blues' defensive numbers won't come up looking good. Neither team will be happy with that defensive shift, right? Like, no game should score 87 points and see the defensive coaches smiling at the end of it. The possession finishes with the Blues, but the Landers had more in the second half. They had the more run meters in the end of the game. They had fewer penalties conceded. It was 13-9. Again, a lot of that is the Blues scrum. But the Blues, the one area they were better, apart from like just the maul, which was a big part of it, but the 22 entries, and Ethan de Groot just spoke about it in his off the field, or on the field, onside pitch interview. He said that they weren't clinical enough, and the 22 entries, they had more than the Blues. It was 12-11, but the Blues come away with 7 tries, the Landers 6. So they were there, didn't score enough. So Tutu had 15 carries on his game back. Tavatava Nawai had 12 for the Landers. Segner 60 metres. Lennox 95. So stand-up performers from both teams, each with a couple of tries. But yeah, crazy, crazy game. I can breathe as a Blues fan after that one, but still doesn't... Well, still a bit troubling from a Blues point of view that we can't, hang on, and we still seem a bit vulnerable, don't we? Super Round is next. The Blues will be taking on the Reds, and the Highlanders will be taking on Moana Pacifica. But yeah, for the Landers, it's another game they lost, a close one. You guys let us know your thoughts on this. Take care, and I will talk to you guys again soon. See you later.